It's been nearly 3 years since Ford of Australia launched its biggest SUV, the Everest. Time for a refresh then. But this one goes far beyond the usual headlights, grille and bumpers. The Everest now gets the powertrain from the Ford Ranger Raptor ute.
But hang on a minute, I hear you say, weren't you guys the ones who said that the Ranger Raptor didn't have enough engine? Well, yes, we did a little bit, but the difference there is expectation. The Ranger Raptor is a Ford performance product, and a lot of people looked at that engine and said, 157 kilowatts, 500 Newton meters, that's all well and good, but it doesn't propel the Raptor up the road quite as quickly as we'd wanted it to. In this Everest, however, it is perfectly fine. It's better than fine. It's a really, really good installation. And it absolutely knocks spots off the 3.2 litre 5-cylinder engine, which continues in the entry-level Ambiente model and also in the mid-range Trend. But it's only a $1,200 step up to get this 2-litre bi-turbo diesel engine from the Raptor. And why wouldn't you? It's quicker, it's more economical, it tows more, and you get a 10-speed auto with it that really keeps it on its toes, as opposed to the 6-speed auto with the 3.2. The Everest range starts at $49,190, but that only gets you the entry-level Ambiente model with the 3.2, the 6-speed box, 5 seats, rear-wheel drive. Don't do that. The sweet spot in the range is $61,190, and that nets you this car, which is the Trend model with the 2-litre bi-turbo TDI engine, and it's much better equipped. It's all-wheel drive. You get some leather that was previously only in the titanium range topper, and you don't need much more. There's $1,000 that you can spend on a tow bar from Ford, but otherwise it comes straight out the crate as a really, really good product at that price. You can spend more. You can spend $73,000 on the range topping titanium model. That gets 20-inch alloys and so on, but it's looking a bit self-conscious at that price. What does the new Everest drive like? Well, it's a good deal more sophisticated than the old car. They've done some tweaks to the suspension, which means that it's stiffer in roll, but that means they can soften off some of the springs. So it disguises its old Ranger underpinnings a lot better than the old car did. It still doesn't feel as plush as something like a Prado or a Discovery along a road like this. There's a certain sort of nibbliness to the suspension that you feel where the car rarely wants to settle, but the steering is particularly nice, and the car disguises its bulk well. The engine, when you give it some, it's, you know, no great ball of fire, but it shifts the car down the road reasonably well. It's not a car you'd call slow. Brakes are good. The 10-speed transmission is way, way sharper than the old 6-speed. And the really great thing about this car is that it now comes with features like AEB, pedestrian recognition and vehicle recognition, and also traffic sign recognition. So the Trend is the one you want. The AEB is not on the entry-level Ambiente. Make note of that. That's coming next year. Ford has also worked to improve the refinement of the Everest with the 2-litre TDI. There's a whole lot more noise insulation up front, and the engine in itself is a more refined unit than the 3.2. You notice it particularly on startup. This one is a lot more hushed. And there's noise cancellation technology in the cabin to cut out a lot of tyre noise. And there's also an acoustic windscreen, which also helps reduce wind buffeting from ahead. Ford has answered its critics that said that the interior of the original Everest was a bit plasticky, a bit cheap, a bit utilitarian, and they've really upped their game with this latest car. The colour palette is more mature. There's leather in this mid-range Trend model. And there's also the Ford Sync 3 infotainment system, which is a massive step up. There's sat-nav on all versions, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and there's voice recognition as well, which actually works. It can even understand me, so you know it's good. So, first impressions of the new Everest. It's come on a long way from the car that was launched in 2015. But in the interim, so has Land Rover with its Discovery and Toyota with its Prado. One major advantage that this car enjoys over those two is that it comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Land Rover and Toyota, you really need to pull your finger out on that one. So would we choose an Everest over the equivalent Land Rover Discovery or Toyota Prado? That's a tough question, and we probably need to get all three cars together to put them through the full wheels road test. But in the interim, I think this car's off to a good start, and the addition of the 2-litre bi-turbo engine is a massive gain for the Everest. Well done, Ford.